Yeah. Kevin doesn't think he touched him.
He definitely touched him.
Well, we got news for you. Welcome to another Money Lap Reacts, and this one is, I think, a very interesting one because as two NASCAR drivers, myself and Landon, we are going to watch last year's Daytona 500 as if we are trying to learn to race in this year's Daytona 500. This is something all race car drivers do. We watch tape, and especially for the super speedway races, because it's the best way to learn the information about what moves worked last year and what moves you could maybe learn from to apply to win the race this year. So, Landon, this is going to be interesting because we all do this, but I don't know if we ever do it with anyone else seeing us watch tape and try to learn. That was an interesting way to put it.
It should be interesting. Also, it is a little condensed, but let's roll the tape and we'll point out some things that we see and figure out if we can learn anything that's going to help us for this upcoming race.
Right, and we should point out we're going to use the highlights here, so that we're going to sort of jump around a little bit through the race, but these are the moments that also we probably learn the most from as drivers. So let's do it. So now we're coming to the end of stage one, and this is where we're looking for moves that drivers are making to sort of win the stage or put themselves in the best position, because you can learn a ton for what you want to do at the end of the race and the end of stages from these last few laps.
This is always I spend a lot of time in my super speedway research focusing on these scenarios where you have the leader towing a single file line, particularly the outside line, which what Keselowski is doing right here is pretty impressive. Going from fourth here, now he looks like he shucked out Ty Gibbs, really just kind of all of the Toyotas.
Yeah. He just
and
drove
he can
around
do this because he's got 4 Fords behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
4 Fords behind him. And
Yeah,
there's a line of 5 Fords. So he knows that he knows he's got the Toyotas outnumbered. That's where he can make these moves. It's hard to make those moves if you don't know you have commitment from the cars behind you.
And look at Eric Almirola there, who went to the top of the Toyota lane trying to make a move here. I'm one that's watching that too. So I'm thinking, all right, if I'm at the back trying to get stage points at the back of the top 10, does this move work for Eric? It so far doesn't look. It looks like that lane's falling apart, so maybe it wasn't the right move for him to get more stage points. And now we'll see at the front, does anyone make a move on Keselowski? A little bit, but not much of a run.
Not really.
So, no, not much. But you then know in Keselowski's position, hey, if I'm leading this, if I make it to the tri-oval, there's very little they can do to
a huge reason there that they didn't make a lot of moves is, as you've noticed, there were 7 out of 10 of the top 10, or 7 out of the top 10 were Fords. Those guys, they had done their job.
So we get a restart here into stage 2. I like paying attention to restarts, especially in the front 2 to 3 rows, just to see what kind of momentum can be gained if a car hooks up really well, the car in front. How long can they make it last, right? That's something I'm thinking about, is like, hey, if I get to a late race restart and I'm second or third in the lane, how can I push this lane to make the most headway? As you see Almirola right now pushing Keselowski.
Typically what I'm going to look at here is I'll watch every restart and think of it like it's the final restart, and I like to see how long it takes to generate those runs so you can time it for coming back to the white. So when does the big push need to start?
So we've jumped way ahead here, by the way.
This is the best part about looking at the highlights. Oh, we're looking at a wreck.
Oh, no. That was Reddick.
Oh, it's a bad bump draft, which we saw one of those earlier in the race. Not on this video, but earlier in the race. Bubba Wallace got bumped into the fence from Truex.
Yep.
And then Reddick had gotten bumped. Who was this? I don't know if we're going to see the replay again.
So that's Harvick behind him. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just a mid-corner bump. I mean, there's not much to learn there. That's just
the corner there. I don't know if I actually even touched him, but
yeah. Kevin doesn't think he touched him.
He definitely touched him.
Well, we got news for you. Which, just to defend Kevin slightly, when you're in the middle of those corners, it's a game of inches, centimeters at times, whether you touch someone or you're taking air off their spoiler, that sort of thing. But there, he definitely touched him.
Obvious.
So. Yeah.
So this is what I was talking about, watching these restarts. See how far out the 19 pushed the 22. So this is And, yeah, we're not looking at that anymore. Thank you, NASCAR editing, for
So yeah, we've come to one to
stealing
go
me
now.
at my point. Now we're 1 to go in stage 2. We are racing for stage points in this stage.
Yep. Hey, it's a more interesting finish for the stage. The cut there, you're all watching this with us to find out when the cuts happen. we have no idea when they're happening, and that shows when we're literally mid-thought, and then it just goes 40 laps ahead. All right, final stage. This is important. Saving fuel in the next-gen era, super important, because if you can have a shorter stop or stops, it is only going to help you out. So that is a big reason why these cars start to ride in 2x2 lanes.
And it's not so that you can go longer, because you're not trying to go more laps. It's just so you can have a faster pit stop.
Yep. And now we have a big crash. And it's nighttime, so we've moved forward.
We're continuing to move forward. And this is ultimately, for Daytona 500 preparation,
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but there's so much strategy over the course of the race, also that you can get to the end of the race and have to field wrecks in the last 20 laps. Like, that's, and it's just part of the event. I don't, you have to be strategic through the green flag pit cycles, because you don't want to go laps down. Because if you go laps down, you don't get to benefit from the attrition of these wrecks, right? If you're 2 laps down, it doesn't matter. If there's a wreck, 19 laps to go, you might get the lucky dog. But if there's 10 laps to go and there's 6 or 7 cars a lap down, they're not getting their laps back. Their race is over.
2019 Daytona 500, I got spun and went 2 laps down and finished 15th. And if I had been able to just stay on the lead lap, we would have had a top 10 day.
Yeah.
Like, because all the wrecks.
Yeah, so you got to stay on the lead lap. But then, like we said, the last 20 laps of the race, I'm guessing this probably isn't the last wreck. I don't know. I don't remember watching this race last year. We'll see.
I'm going to go on a limb to say it's not. Because I
Given
remember
that
who wins this.
I
not
don't
in the
know
top
who wins
10.
this. I was gonna say I don't see. I think I remember who wins this, but yeah, they're probably.
You actually corrected me on it the other day, by the way.
On who won this race?
Yep.
Oh gosh. This shows you how good my memory
13
is.
laps to go. We got Fords up front. Harrison Burton right here getting pushed by Kyle Busch. Here's a move he should have made. Should have dropped down in front of Logano there. Doesn't. The top lane breaks apart. Not the right choice. Now he's hanging on.
Well, and a big thing here, too, that Harrison, I think, is made the mistake on is that bottom is the better lane in this car.
Yep.
Especially.
Well, somehow Logano was shucked out of the bottom. He's up all the way falling back. Then Harrison gets loose, gets into the side of Kyle Busch. He falls to the back. 2 cars at just, a lap and a half ago were restarted on the front row. Had this thing under control. They're no longer there. And now we're at 4 laps to go.
Maybe they didn't wreck. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
We should have just watched the last 15 laps of this race.
Why did we not just watch the last 15? We'll see if this turns into anything. Good luck, AJ. Kyle Busch leading right now. That's our editor, by the way. He's got Austin Dillon, his teammate, behind him. That's William Byron. We've got a bunch of Chevys here. And then it's a
Now
Ford.
I know who won this race.
Yeah, now you know. He's
So
starting.
3 laps to go. He's not even in the top 5, though.
Nope.
Oh, and here we go. We're going to get a green-white checkered.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Well, that changes everything.
It's kind of how Suarez's season went overall. 2023.
All right, so everything I was trying to say earlier about restarts and seeing how to push, when to time your leads, this is what it all amounts to. Look at Kyle Busch backing into the 3.
He was on the brake.
He wanted
had gotten too far out.
He was. That's what the race fans may not realize, that he was slamming on the brakes at that point to bring the pack up to him. But now his
Still
own teammate
disconnects.
is doing the same thing to him. I think the 3 was backing up.
No, I think the 3 just got disconnected and wasn't getting pushed enough. And this gives the opening for they spin. Stenhouse and Larson went to the bottom, which was the right move. We got another big wreck.
will decimate roughly half the remaining.
There
So
goes the
still another
three-car.
overtime. Now the
Yep.
47 is the control.
Try it overtime.
Now let's see if he does a better job.
He actually does two good moves here, but one move that I felt was the wrong move is you'll see from Larson here. And he's being pushed by a Ford. You got a Chevy and a Toyota on the bottom, so there's no real manufacturer allegiance here. You don't have to worry about that. But you're going to see here.
That's where all this energy's going to come from back here.
So they're basically hooked up, pushing, tandeming.
Here comes the 8.
That's a little bit that the 47 needs.
Yep. So now he's got the lead.
Does he switch lanes?
But watch this. This is where I feel. So Larson's still on the bottom. I agree with this move, 100%. Now Stenhouse is way out front. This is a bad place to be. You don't want to be there.
Bad
You're
place
trying
to
to back up or connect the lanes. Watch this move. I didn't think that was the move. And I'll say because it just wasn't the help. He had to just
No.
push the 47 at that point.
Oh, and then he gets wrecked.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
hit.
No, the caution is out.
Yeah, I don't. Gosh, that's a tough. That's a tough call. I don't know if I agree with that. That Larson did or didn't make the right move. I mean, obviously it wasn't the right move for what happened, but
For sure.
you do that move 10. You're in that scenario 10 times in a row. How many times can you make that move and there is help there, right? That the help appears, that somebody goes with you from the bottom lane, or somebody comes down from the top lane to give you that push. Because what the thing that Larson had to do was he had momentum, right?
Yep.
And when you're at that point in the race, when you have momentum, you're just trying to take it, right? And
I mean,
you're
if he
kinda-
slows up and hits the 47, the 22 probably takes the lead, so he's in a worse position there.
Right, but they
I
do
see
have a
all that.
whole lap. They do have a whole lap to
Exactly.
regain. So it's
That's
not,
the thing.
you're not entirely wrong. But I do think it's maybe a coin flip. I don't think it's.
Yep.
I don't. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I think, of course, it ended. It's easy to say armchair quarterback that it was the wrong move. I just think what I've started to learn about super speedway racing, and even maybe it's a little bit of just the last couple of years as we've all gotten very good at what happens late, is that the patience. If you have the patience to think there's a whole lap, some of the best I've watched really understand that, what the value of a lap is, right? And at Talladega, it's the value of the front straightaway. That's a long front straightaway. And if they have the patience that you get, you don't need to take the lead on that first move. There's another move that's going to materialize. Maybe that pays out differently for Larson. So that was fun. A little disjointed. Maybe we won't do extended highlights ones going forward. But if you have a react out there that you would like us to watch and react to, it does not have to be NASCAR. Let us know. Put it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe for more stuff like this from the Money Lap. Thanks for watching.